Hello, Pre-Algebra, Day 2. Today we are continuing our march with geometry. We're going to be talking about angles. Again, a lot of this chapter is angles. We're not so much measuring them. I don't know if you're going to need a protractor. Today, I know you won't. I don't think you will moving forward. This is kind of just the mathematics solving for different angles. Today we're talking about pairs of angles, and we've got two primary pairs that we're going to be talking about today. The first one, complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose measure adds up to 90 degrees. Complementary angles. So if two angles are complementary to each other, it's not because they're nice, they comment on each other's hair. Right? They're not over there like, oh, Bethany, you do such a good job in your art. Oh, thanks, Isla. You do a great job in your art. Oh, we're complimentary. No, not quite like that. Although that is true. No, these are two angles. They just add up to make 90. The other pair of angles are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measure adds up to 180 degrees. The way that I remember this is complementary is 90, but if you have two sets of complementary, right, if I draw another C under here, well, I'm really just drawing an S. So complementary is one set, that's just 90, but if I have two C's, that's 180, that makes supplementary, right? I actually do that with my hands. I can't do that now because my other hand's holding my phone as I'm recording this. So complementary, or the second hand is going to make it supplementary, just like that. Just a tip, helps me, hope it helps you. All right, so here's a few angles. Angle B, 55 degrees, E, 35, N, 135 degrees, and then Q, 45 degrees. I'll give you a second. Go ahead, pause this if you want to take a second to draw those down. We know that B, 55 plus 35 equals 90. So B is complementary to E, N is complementary to Q. Right, if we kind of take this guy and notch it in right here, it's going to make a straight line. If we take this guy and notch it in right down here, it's going to make 90-degree angle. Okay. This plus that, 180 degrees. This plus that, 90 degrees. All right, moving on. So write and solve an equation to find the supplement, right? That's the angle that's supplementary, of 38 degrees. And again, much like yesterday, simple. So angle N, in this case, plus 38 equals 180. Well, that's easy. We just subtract. You could set it up like this, right? Because this plus that, these are supplementary, is going to equal 180. Or we know that 180 minus this unknown angle is going to equal 38. Once you subtract, you find out that's 142. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Again, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, please email me or post a comment to these videos. I get notifications for either, and I'm happy to oblige. Okay. So angles that have a common vertex and a common ray, so they share one of their legs, one of these rays. These are called adjacent angles. So I guess this is the third type, a third pair of angles that we're talking about as adjacent angles. That means they're next to each other. So here's my example. angle BAD with ray C here. BAC is adjacent to CAD, right? So this angle and that angle are adjacent. That's this guy, shoop, is adjacent to this guy, shoop. Okay. Hope this is making sense. Seems pretty straightforward. Okay. Now this lines that share a common point are intersecting lines. So I've got line L over here and line M down here. This point A, that's this point A, is their intersecting point. And it's giving me angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. So line L, line M, angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, because we know they're intersecting lines, they're not parallel, nor are they perpendicular. Intersecting lines create vertical angles. Vertical angles. Some of you might remember this last year. We really tried to hammer this home in Math 7 last year. Now, vertical angles, they're called that because they're vertical to each other. So angles 1 and 3 are vertical, and angles 2 and 4 are vertical, right? If I put a straight line here between them, let's see, I'm trying to find a straight line here on my desk. A straight line, boom, it's going to come straight between 2 and 4, or in this case, it's going to come straight between, boom, 1 and 3. Now, the neato thing about vertical angles, I know you guys all hated that I said that, but what vertical angles define is that their measure is the same. The measure of angle 1 and 3 are the same. Just because they're vertical. Boom, easy. Doesn't matter if this is 170 degrees, boom, this would be 170 degrees. Doesn't matter if this is 3 degrees, it doesn't matter. It's got to be less than 180 degrees, but anything less than that, these guys are going to be the same. Same with angles 2 and 4. As soon as they're vertical, they're the exact same. Easy money, okay? What's also nice is because this is a straight line, M and L are straight lines, we know that these two angles are supplementary. So when you add them together, angles 1 and 2, you get 180 degrees. Same with angles 1 and 4, 3 and 4, 2 and 3, right? If they're adjacent angles and they're on a straight line, boom, supplementary, 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 vertical, vertical. So we could, if we're given the information of just one angle, we could figure out the other 3 super fast, right? With supplementary angles, do simple subtraction, and then vertical angles are the exact same. See, it's making a little bit of sense, I hope. Woo. Okay, so let's say that we are given the value for angle 4. Well, find angles 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and pause that again. Angle 4 is 63 degrees. So we know that angle 2, because it's vertical, it's going to be 63 degrees. Right? Vertical angles. Now, what about angle 1? Well, they're supplementary, so I could subtract 180 minus 63. It's going to be 117. And if this is 117, boom, this is 117. Okay. Questions, comments, or concerns, email me or leave a comment down below. I'll get to it promptly. Okay, here's an example. Find the measure of angles 1, 2, and 3. How are we going to do that? Well, we know a couple things. We know that this whole angle here, including angle 3 and 36 degrees,